Look closely at a digital face where proportions are slightly off. Your brain immediately recoils. This is the uncanny valley. Combine that with change blindness, where major environmental shifts go unnoticed, and it becomes clear that conscious experience is frequently prone to error. Sensory triggers bypass logic. A brief whiff of a specific perfume or the smell of rain on asphalt can instantaneously induce a vivid, full-body childhood memory, pulling the past directly into the present. For decades, the traditional scientific metaphor treated the brain like a passive video camera. The assumption was that we simply hit record, capturing objective events and storing them neatly along a linear, chronological timeline. Severe trauma forces past experiences into the present. The body and mind relive the event with its original intensity, shattering the illusion of a chronological distance between then and now. The linear timeline model also fails to explain dementia. Patients frequently lose the chronological narrative of their lives while retaining a core identity and a deep emotional responsiveness to a familiar song. Perception is an active, continuous construction rather than a passive recording. And like any complex software, it is susceptible to glitches in its rendering. For over 15 years, behavioral research designer Nandha Niyog has been mapping these exact cognitive glitches from her base in Kerala, India. Her research investigates the complex intersection of human behavior and consciousness, detailing how identity is formed and fractured in her book, The Conscious Act. A behavioral designer acts as an architect of inner space. Their goal is to map the physical and emotional mechanics of the mind to correct the software bugs that drive human suffering. Niyog argues that to effectively heal deep-seated trauma and memory disorders, we have to first reverse engineer the brain's internal rendering system. This approach is detailed in her Theory of Photo-Auto-Perception, or PAP. The theory proposes that the human brain operates like a biological 3D scanner. When you enter a room, your eyes make rapid, unconscious movements called saccades. They dart around, gathering fragmented, two-dimensional visual data points. The brain then stitches those flat fragments together, calculating depth and spatial structure to build a three-dimensional mental model. Your lived reality is the final, textured render of this continuous, unconscious 3D construction process. Extreme stress interrupts this alignment process. When the brain fails to accurately stitch data points together, it creates a glitch in its internal geometry, leading to the severe perceptual errors and spatial distortions often reported by trauma survivors. Our sense of now is a computational artifact, and because it is constructed, it can be re-engineered. Through field research with diverse subcultures across India, Niyog realized that fixing perception required looking deeper into the structural architecture of memory. She developed the Dynamic Holographic Implicit Memory Framework, or DHI. It models human memory as a nonlinear fabric woven from sensory and emotional threads. In holographic recall, a single sensory trigger, like a sound or a smell, projects a full-body past state directly into the present manifold. This process bypasses standard hippocampal retrieval pathways, explaining the instantaneous and visceral nature of these memories. By modeling memory as a malleable fabric rather than a read-only hard drive, the DHI framework provides the scientific basis for interventions designed to literally reweave a person's past. To move these theories into practice, Niyog founded the B-Rede Lab and co-founded SHRADHAX in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Here, she applies a reweaving protocol for trauma. By using highly controlled exposure to sensory triggers, clinicians help patients alter the emotional charge anchored to past holograms. For dementia care, they create sensory identity banks, curated collections of personal smells, sounds, and tactile objects to activate preserved memory networks and sustain a patient's core identity. These behavioral design principles also apply in the corporate sector, helping business leaders overcome rigid cognitive patterns to optimize executive performance, brand strategy, and company culture. When we understand the software running our perception, we stop being passive observers. Behavioral designers like Niyog give us the tools to architect our own reality.